It's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 597, where you can hear us on parockshow.com, xrpradio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom, megarockradio.net, and KFGD 107.1 FM St. Louis, Missouri, Rootaroo Radio in Ocean Beach, San Diego, California, and altrockradio.ca in Hamilton, Ontario, Ontario, Canada. That was terrible. I was 597 episodes, and I don't think I've made it through that list correctly once. This is the PA Rock Show. With me tonight is Right Turn Clyde. What's up?
Hey, glad to be here.
We have various stages of darkness, which leads me right to that devil question.
Oh no!
But before we get to there, let's start out with something easy. Could you guys introduce yourselves real quick and mention what you do in the band?
There we go.
Go ahead, Clyde.
Oh, I'm Clyde of Right Turn Clyde. What can I say? I'm the circus leader of this amazing circus we have. So.
Everybody's sitting there going, "Okay, who's
next?"
Tom Boyce, lead guitar.
I'm Jesse Lowry, bass and backup vocals.
I am
backup.
Oh yeah.
I'm Tina Patricia Cooper, and I do some rhythm stuff, and I am also backup vocals.
So a couple things that I'm going to throw in there. First of all, it's a really cool stand-up bass. I was so mad that I couldn't get better shots of it. I mean, I got good shots, but I wanted better ones.
Yeah. The picture I used for my profile is phenomenal. That's just a great shot. I was really, really into it, and you captured it. I love that picture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you guys have been playing a lot of shows recently. I think starting with the night that I went out, right? Was that the first?
We Right Turn Clyde has been around for 7 years. There's been different versions of it, but we average around 100 shows a year. So we're really a hard-hitting act in town. We're all over the place, you know. We try really hard to kind of stretch it out a bit because you've got the Pittsburgh market, but then, you know, like any other band, you don't want to burn out a specific area. So we take it north, east, west, south, you know, try to keep it within an hour from Pittsburgh to kind of grow the audience. But in that, it'll take us about 100 shows a year. So
I know you have a show coming up on this Saturday, and I can't remember the details.
Oh, yeah. That's at Helltown Tap Room in Houston, PA. It's our last show of the year. We're hosting their ugly pajama contest. So, I'm sorry, pajama.
Sweater.
Ugly sweater, Christmas sweater. Yeah, that's it. So,
yeah.
I'll be in my ugly pajamas. That'll be it. So
you'll have to direct everyone back to the video so they can understand. Why are you? Wait, go to.
Exactly.
So I feel like I should just skip over where did the band name come from, because I have a feeling I know. There's a scene in a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Am I
yeah,
on?
You're absolutely correct. You know, the brief history behind the band, it originally started with myself and another guy. We were trying to get into the duo thing in the Pittsburgh market. We couldn't book it. We had a decent show, but we just couldn't book it. And one day he came to me and said, "Clyde, my friend at work said, why don't we use the name Right Turn Clyde?" And I go, "Well, why?" He goes, "Well, remember that scene in the movie?
Isn't it
And
Every Which Way But Loose?"
yeah,
right?
Right, exactly. And the line.
I can't remember where my wife lived.
Yeah, the line was Clint Eastwood telling the orangutan, right, turn Clyde, and he would punch, whoever, the law officer or whatever. And that was the big deal. And he goes, well, that
Clyde does the
and
same thing.
yeah, exactly. They keep telling me to do that, and I hit people. But so what? And then he goes, Clyde, your name's Clyde. That's the hook. And I go, oh, well, let's do that. And we created like a really, I just found it recently, a rudimentary logo that has an orangutan with his fist out. And it was like right turn Clyde, with the initials R, TC, and then like the orangutan like that. But that was the first logo. And that's where it all started. And we've just been very, very fortunate and lucky, and we've had some amazing players in the act. And it's just grown. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do. The last year, 2021, with challenges, with COVID and things like that, we took off really strong right after when they were allowed to do live entertainment again. And the cool part about Right Turn Clyde is that we kind of replicate a very large band sound with just a few members. And that's been our whole shtick, is that, we have so many people to come to us and go, oh my God, you sound so much bigger than what you are. And that's just relying on effects and the ability of, the whole theory behind the upright bass was to eliminate a drum kit, and allow that upright bass, because it resonates and it creates a beat, and and if done right, like Jesse can really thump it hard, it can replace that sound. And then in turn you have the two guitars that will create the illusion of a giant sound in what we do and how we pull it off. So that's kind of the gist and the magic behind of what we do and how we do it. So
So how did the current lineup come together?
you know what? I guess I'll start with Jesse. I met Jesse at a fundraiser we did at a location for the American Cancer Society, and he was with this band. Um, um,
Unnecessary polka.
Unnecessary Polka. Okay.
Yeah,
That's an awesome name.
So
it's a fantastic name.
and so we introduced them, ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah. And so they're doing their thing, and out of nowhere, Jesse breaks into this. What was it, Croatian or what was it?
It was Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
Yeah, it's some Ukrainian, or actually it's some Ukrainian polka punk band.
Right.
Gorgo Bordello, I think it is. Ever heard of them?
No.
Gorgo Bordello.
I have.
Okay.
Was
Yeah,
that
it's
Cossack Ride or something?
no, it was the Start Wearing Purple.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's the
yes.
song. That's right.
That was the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then right in the middle of the song, it just breaks into Ukrainian, and yeah, so it's
Well-
pretty cool too. Yeah.
Well, that's where I first saw Jesse, and he was there. Now, what happens is that Right Turn Clyde again, and I'll say just a few years ago, we were sponsored by Iron City Beer. We had a heavy promotion going on locally, and they would throw these parties that we would be a part of, and we did like 130 shows. It was a lot, and we were everywhere. But what happens in real life is that it burns people out. And so I've learned from experience, and I've experienced it myself in the 7 years of doing this, is that people have real lives, and so they can't do 3 or 4 shows a week, or 2 shows a day, 2 3-hour shows a day constantly. And so what happens is that they eventually, say, "Hey, Clyde, it's been a blast, but I'm out of here," And then I've had guys that just don't like me, and it's the way it goes, and just just split. It's like
What?
yeah, I've been told that you are a talentless hack. I've been told that to my face. I'm like, yeah,
Ouch.
okay. And I go, okay, cool. Oh wait, I got to get to the next gig. Sorry, and so the cool part is that this last round we just lost a guitar player. Similar situation, a lot of shows and commitments of the family and stuff like that. And Tom has been around, like he's been basically played with every band in Pittsburgh. And we came across him with this talent. He stepped in once, and to be quite honest, I think a lot of people in Pittsburgh are about to see what Tom can do, because we're going to get in front of a lot more people. Like right now, we've got just about 60 shows already in the books for next year. But the cool part is that we're expanding to bigger rooms. So it's going to be more faces that we'll see. We had some great shows at Jurgles. We did 2 shows, opening for 2 different acts. And a lot of people got to see what we're all about. And it's funny, we push, if you look at Facebook, a lot of people will say, oh my God, you look like you're the busiest band in town, because we're all over Facebook. We have a great social media footprint. It works really well. It's a really cool machine, how it's done and how we get it out there. But at like when we did that last show at Jurgles, we had people come in and go, what's your name? We've never seen you before. Oh my God, where can we see you again? So it shows that even with all the efforts, there's still a lot more work to do in order to continue to grow what we do. So Tom has come along and has really upped our game to the next level. And what I mean by that, his ability to play has taken us up a notch to keep up with him, which is great. It's really added a whole different view. And so as we kind of moved along, it was kind of like we needed something a little bit different. We've kind of owned our niche, those trios and those duos out there, those acoustic rocks. And what's happened is Right Turn Clyde has kind of morphed into something different. And what I mean by that, it's more of an electronic sound. So it is a harder edge. And we've had some rooms that go, hey, you're just a little too much for us, and once we get rolling, we put on a really rowdy show. It's fun. And it's not like, we're jumping into a mosh pit or anything, but it's rowdy and fun in a fun way. I guess the prime example is how we took on, we replayed the big taco festival that was done out at a few months ago. And we had this giant crowd in our hands, and it was fun, but it's the first time we've been able to do something that big to that big of a crowd and just roll it. But it proved that we can do it. And I'm super happy about that. So in that, Tina is my girlfriend, my love of my life, but she's also has this amazing voice. And I'll let her talk about it, but she cantors at church and has this amazing voice that's going on. And let me stop for a quick second. Jesse has this amazing voice as well. So the idea is into 2022 is to how to take these talents and bring our vocal expertise to a different level in the presentation. Tina really adds a lot to it. I mean, she's new just by a few weeks, but as we do our final show Saturday, we jump into rehearsals after the holidays and start focusing on a whole new groove, and then we're going to reintroduce it back at Steamworks in late February. So people actually hear the new sound. There'll be some percussion in, there'll be some different sounds, different songs. Tina will have, she'll be working on 5 or 6 different songs, which is completely different for Right Turn Clyde, which is pretty much been all male driven. So I'm super excited to see how it goes. And the team that we have here is just extremely solid, and I'm very proud of them. I really am.
Are you guys ready for that devil question now?
Uh-oh.
I'm speaking metaphorically, so don't panic. The myth in the blues circles is that Robert Johnson went away for a year, went to the crossroads, met with the devil, and sold his soul to be able to play guitar. So if you are standing at the crossroads waiting for the devil to show up, what are you going to sell your soul for?
Good question.
Actually, I've been to those crossroads in Mississippi, and it had this plaque crossroads, and I went in a gas station, brought pork around. So I bought pork around.
All right. Good answer.
Yeah. I'd sell my soul to not go to hell. You play a trick on them, you know.
Right. It's just like a Tenacious D song.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
Sell my soul for. Well,
I years and years ago, I lived in the Mid-South, and I had the opportunity to work in Tunica, Mississippi, which is where the casinos were. So just over the border, about half an hour. But anyway, in doing so, you go through an old town. Now, Highway 61 that goes through northern Mississippi into Memphis, which was the road where everybody played, from Elvis to BB King. I mean, just the legends.
yeah.
Started at this little bitty room. Mark Cohn sings about it. And it's this restaurant that I went in, and they served great cheeseburgers. That's why I went in. But then someone told me the history behind the building.
You're leading me into another question. Keep going.
And so in sitting there, just as in that Mark Cohn song, you sit there and you look at the stage is still there, and the brick wall is still there, and you go, "Wow, I'm sitting where these guys cut their teeth." I've always been in entertainment in one way or another, being booking or management, or now with Turn Clyde. And I sat there, and you literally do see crossroads. There is a crossroads there. It's right there, which leads to 61. And to answer your question in a very long way, so I guess I didn't ask for any. I was in awe that I'm standing on the ground that so many legends stood, and it was almost like an altar to these legends, and I didn't know how to really put my arms around it, because these guys all invented rock and roll in one form or fashion. So it was just really neat to see it. That's all.
I thought you were going to tell me you would sell your soul to have another cheeseburger from there.
No, I just bought it. It's like $9. That's like, here, I don't have to trade off with the devil. Bring out the AMX. So, but it was a great burger. It was like fresh ground beef. It wasn't those patties. It's like real. Someone smashed it and made it, and just when you ate it, it just dripped all up in your arms. It was great. That's why I'm a diabetic.
He's
now.
still leading me into this question. He doesn't even know it. Tina or Jesse, do you want to answer that one?
I would like to be able to pull up a recipe on the internet without having to read blogs and other bull about.
There we go.
It's just so frustrating, man. It's tough.
The man can cook, by the way. He can cook.
Yeah, I'm a madman in the kitchen.
Yes, he is.
No. But in all seriousness, if I could there's an incident that happened in my life. If I could go back and erase it, that would probably be the one thing I would wish for.
Oh.
But but if I go to hell for it, but hey, at least that incident was erased. So
cool, man.
So.
Hey, Tina, do you want?
Oh, well, so I have, it's not unique, but at least an ability to learn many different instruments. And I have since I was in college for music, which I, started out in, and then eventually changed majors because I got burned out. But I, continued with my musical training while I was there as a minor. But anyways, my favorite thing about being in the music department was being able to learn all these different instruments. I loved it. So as much as I was able to pick up these, new instruments, I just really wanted to be good at one thing. Like if I could have been masterful at one instrument, I would, my instrument was trumpet. I did not sing back then. I mean, I sang in a choral setting, but certainly not, on my own. But, I had always hoped that I could be great. Maybe not performance quality, but at least, much better than I was. Unfortunately, I don't have that gift. But anyways, just one instrument. I love music very much, and I just always wanted to be good at like one thing. So, jack of all trades, master of none. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's a gift in itself. I don't know. Anyway.
So the question that Clyde started to lead us into, and Jesse helped and didn't even know it. I want you to tell me about your favorite venue, but the caveat is based on the food you've eaten there.
Oh, easy. That's easy for me. I loved playing the Wheelfish out there not far from McKnight Road in that area. And they have the best brisket. They would pay us in portions of cash, and then everybody got a chance to take home a meal. And of course, we could drink all night. So that's back in the days when I would have my fill of Irish whiskey. That's where Right Turn Clyde really did have a rowdy reputation. Drink checks, shot checks, and the whole room was packed and was rolling. But I couldn't wait to get that brisket sandwich at the end of the night. It's amazing. I loved it. So,
see, I wish you booked more shows at Chinese restaurants. But
Chowlees.
Yeah, but I would have to say Arsenal Cider House, just because they have amazing ciders, amazing meads there, and once in a while they'll let you take home a complimentary bottle of something that you like, and it's really cool. They treat us good there. Helltown treats us good there.
Yeah,
and they allow us to drink whatever we want, as much as we want, but it's always just me. but those two places, Helltown and the Arsenal Cider Houses.
I'm friends with a band from. They're not together anymore, but their bass player used to tell me all the time that he played better when he was drunk, and that everyone else in his band should stay sober. So,
when I first started playing, I was a rhythm guitar player and backup vocalist for the Mo Nelson band.
I remember Mo.
Do you remember Mo? Yeah,
I do.
And he's passed. I'm sure you know that. Yeah, he's
I do.
Passed. Super cool guy. But I remember when I got the audition, he goes, "All right, and so we'd play every honky tonk in like juke joint, like at Aliquippa, Beaver County, kind of like what we do now. But I mean, like the low lights and the pool tables, and so people would bring over trays of tequila because Mo loved tequila, and it was like, come on, and it'd be shot, and so I didn't drink like that. And so, but the band was rocking. I mean, the more they drank, the wilder they were. I said, all right, I'm going to try this. And so after the third shot, I was like, I was blowing the line. I was missing chords. I was blowing the lines. I go, I suck. I really suck more than I usually do. But the band was amazing. It was wild to watch. And if you know Mo, Mike would just kick it. The more he drank, the wilder he was with that Gretsch, because he would make that Gretsch scream. And but I just, and then all of a sudden, he like Mo or Mike there, he disbanded, said, I'm gonna go sailing, I'll see you guys later, and went down to Key West on that boat, and then stayed, just stayed the entire season down there. So but yeah, that was crazy. It was crazy how wild that band was. And there had to, I'd say 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 shots and just keep rolling, so.
Yeah, I met him through Utah from the Shady Lady
Okay.
Studio.
We've met Utah before. Yeah.
Yes, we have.
He's not a fan of ours. That's fine. So,
Just
hey, how
put
you
that
doing?
out
Good
there.
to meet you. Yeah. Okay, whatever, man. So.
I've had a different experience. I own a domain, akmusicscene.com, which is really where all of this spawned from. And he actually purchased the domain for me for the first year and helped me come up with the name. So
Wow.
I've known him
I know
for
he's been very helpful
long
for a lot
time.
of acts there. I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. I just, I've seen a lot of cool things. He helps a lot of people out there. He helps a lot of acts, young, especially up and coming acts, get out there and get the exposure and things like that. So I can't say anything bad about the guy. He just wasn't very impressed with us, which is like, okay, whatever, man. Give me the goddamn beer. Sorry. No, I'm joking.
So let's see who answered. Jesse answered. Clyde answered. Tom and Tina.
Yeah, Tom and Tina.
I'm cheap and trying to watch what I eat, so I don't really eat much. But what I was excited about, well, I do eat a lot, but like not the club. So, and if we had played like an all-you-can-eat buffet, that'd be it. But
All right.
That's what I'm saying. We got to do some of these China walls and
that or
places, yeah.
Haas Steakhouse, Haas Steakhouse.
Hofbrauhaus,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's play Hofbrauhaus. That'd be favorite. Well,
exactly.
But I like this part. I like we play this place Voodoo Brewing out in New Kensington. That place was jumping.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a great atmosphere, great show. It was like a concert, so I like that. And I mean, I like all the places we play, especially like Helltown. They treat us well. But yeah, I didn't have anything. Well, I had a Coke. It was a great Coke, top notch. But
as Cokes go, it was one of the best.
Yeah, that's right.
You didn't get the pizza with the pickles on it. It was like the hangover pizza. I watched these girls eat it. I'm like,
there you go. Yeah. Pizza with pickles.
Well, guys, guys, there is that venue out in Acme, Rodney's Corner. That's notorious. I mean, literally out in the woods, up in the mountains, not far from Seven Springs, and for some odd reason, they love us there. Love us, but
we play Yenzer Rock. They
yeah, true. One of the stories we had, Josh was one of the other guitar players with us, had ordered a pizza, and the place was rocking. I mean, packed. And this woman comes up to us and says, "Hey, can I have a piece of your pizza?" And we're like, "No." She went up, grabbed it anyway. It's just we're like,
this
well,
is 2020 also.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's the summer of 2020.
Yeah.
And she's pulling food off people's plates.
It was wild.
It was
needless
a rough
to say,
year.
Yeah. Needless to say, we probably won't go back there anytime soon. But they love us out there.
Survival instincts kicked in.
That's right.
Yeah. But everybody comes in like looking like
times are
mountain
tough, man.
It's right, Turn Clyde here. Like, yes, we'll play. So, but anyway.
Hey, Tina, do you have a favorite venue based on food?
To be quite honest, I really haven't had any of the food anywhere we've gone, but I have had the beer at Helltown, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm an IPA girl when I do drink beer, which isn't very often, but when I do, I enjoy IPAs very much. And so I think they have an excellent product there. Yeah. But, a lot of the places we play at have greasy bar food, and my stomach can't tolerate grease, so I stay away from it. So, yeah. I look at it from afar.
I have this what would I even call it? Like tradition. I started working with bands back in 1996. I did my first website for a band and slowly turned into this. But when I started watching bands live, when the show was over, every time, I even did it when I left your show, I go to Sheets and I get a pretzel melt breakfast sandwich with sausage, provolone cheese, mustard, and black pepper.
Wow.
It's a weird combination. Every show I eat it.
Yeah.
I actually like pull out my phone and ask for the nearest Sheets, and no matter where it is, I go to it because it's a tradition.
Yeah, Tina knows that. It's always the sheets run after a show. We can find one. So that's the appetizer mix or whatever it is, with a variety of appetizers. Now they have hush puppies. I tried those; they were fantastic.
See, I'm gonna have to try them.
They're good. They're good. They're good.
with my breakfast sandwich after show.
There you
There you
go.
go. There you go.
Sliced hush puppies on your breakfast sandwich.
So this is sort of the official question of Build a Scene. And just to give you a short history behind it, I started tagging Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, trying to get Dave to come on the show. And
Wow.
he talks to everybody and he's online all the time. I've never heard from him.
Oh.
So I've come up with this plan that I'm going to keep asking this question until he comes and talks to me. And the Foo Fighters are known for bringing people up on stage to play songs with them, that like an original Foo Fighters song. So my question is, who is your Dave Grohl? In other words, what band would you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their songs?
Well, that's a good question.
Wow. Great question.
And someday I'm going to get to ask Dave that, but who knows when.
Wow.
I think Springsteen would be fun. To get up there and do something cool with the E Street Band. I think that'd be a hip thing. Do something, one of their legends and play along with it. So that'd be cool.
Tom's really thinking this one through.
Yeah, you see that.
Metallica.
Yeah.
All right.
That would
There you go.
be epic.
See,
Yeah.
He just led me into another question.
Yeah, it would probably be Iron Maiden for me. Yep.
Okay, Tina. She's always last.
Well, no, it's okay. I've listened to a lot of music in my past. So some of these like indie rock bands or whatever, maybe in the day that's what they were referred to. So maybe you've heard of Jeff Tweedy, maybe you've heard of Wilco. Yeah. So anyway, I really enjoy their music. They've been around for a while, and probably, just because it's a genre of music that I connect to. And yeah. Anyways. And I've seen Jeff Tweedy by himself here in Pittsburgh. Never seen Wilco as a band together, but Jeff Tweedy, and I just love his music. So yeah. Anyway.
Hey Tom, so here's the question you triggered in my head. So Metallica played in Antarctica. Kiss played in the ocean to sharks. Where is an off the wall place that you would like to play? So anywhere random.
Huh. Red Rocks in Colorado. I think that'd be cool. Radio silence. Come on, guys.
No idea.
Yeah. It's,
I mean, any given arena.
Yeah.
Like a large arena. I don't care which one.
Palace.
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
That is a thought, and I had reached out to them to play that stage
Palace?
at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. After January, they're looking for bands to submit. I think that would be cool as hell too.
That would
play that stage of the Hard Rock at the Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
Hey, you ready for another odd question?
Go for it.
Everyone's like, I'm not sure. Let's say you're walking down the road and you pass a DeLorean, which just happens to have its door open and a flux capacitor inside it, waiting for you to climb in, set a date, and go hang out with the band. What band in the history of the world are you going to go hang out with?
Yes, 1971.
That was fast.
Wow.
Hendrick, 68.
Wow. I'd say for me, Bowie, 96 or 7, somewhere around there.
The Beatles, 1967.
Wow.
Between 1967 and 70, because Let It Be is my favorite album. So
Will Yoko be there?
we can pretend she's not there.
You have to leave. You have to leave.
Yes, the Beatles, for sure.
Let's see. Tell me about an embarrassing moment that you had on stage, and it doesn't. There's a caveat. And it doesn't necessarily have to be while you were with Right Turn Clyde, but it can't be something that you did. It has to be something that somebody else did in the band that embarrassed you.
Wow.
I asked this question one time of Abby from the X. Why can't I think of her last name right now? Kreisner, her band. And everybody pointed to the drummer and told a story about the drummer. And they were all different stories.
Oh, wow. When I was 14, 15, maybe 15 years old, I was in a band with a bunch of guys my age. And I don't know how we got the show, but we were asked to play during the Memorial Day parade in Connellsville, my hometown. So here's a bunch of, there's like 14-year-old kids. And we're in the middle of the street, all plugged in with our guitars. And I didn't even know how to play guitar back then. I just sang. And all of a sudden, like the guitar player and the bass player just got into this fist fight, like right in the middle of the street. And then they started like smashing. The one guy smashed his guitar off the sidewalk and then attacked the other guy. And yeah, needless to say, we were never asked to come back and play again. But my gosh, yeah, it was something. And a runner-up, yeah. I guess a runner-up to that would be last week when we attended a pentatonic song in the Middle Market Square.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
But we hung on until the end,
Oh, yes,
didn't we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
To the
Finish
crowd's
it.
dismay. Crowd was
Sing
like, oh
it
my God, that was
proud
great.
and finish it.
Fake it till you bake it. Fake it till you bake it. So, yeah, that was pretty bad, guys.
Yeah, we only knew 3 songs. We knew Louie Louie. We knew Rainbow in the Dark by Dio. We knew Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden. and then we knew an REM song. I think it was in the middle of the REM song that the two got into a fight. They were fine during the metal songs.
REM does it to you, Good you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it gets you very rowdy. It's like them and the Ramones. So 2 rowdy acts. REM and the Ramones. So.
No.
Anybody else have one they want to share, or should I move on?
Yeah, move on.
Okay. When you are going from show to show, what is the soundtrack on your way there? What are you listening to on your way to a show?
Oh.
Whatever's on the radio.
Yeah, I have I use my phone. I use Pandora, and I always listen to Empire of the Sun radio. So whatever's on there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, just a lot of it's just dance music, just a lot of bass, a lot of beats, a lot of singing, a lot of synthesizers, a lot of overproduction. But I like that.
Hmm.
On the
I,
way,
I,
I'll actually not listen. I'll just kind
yeah.
of keep it there. I just want clearness. Afterwards, I'll throw on like whatever happens to be on Spotify playlists, like it's like old school metal or something, or whichever. Just like have like a random like Tom's 550 songs of awesomeness. Just like everything that any song that would come on the radio that I wouldn't change. Of course, I'm now like, oh, I don't want to listen to that anymore. I've heard that. So, but yeah, on the way to shows, no, I kind of like it, quiet to get in the zone.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have to agree with that. Between shows, I don't really listen because my ears are already ringing. So like if we do like a back-to-back show, which we did a few over the year, quiet. But after that, I don't know, just whatever's on the radio at that point. So
Well, what do we listen to? It's like
it's like the Spectrum
the
channel, like
Spectrum
on
or cassette rock or something. So
yeah,
that's usually
yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll listen to that, which is like 90s rock, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cassette era rock. That's what.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yep.
Yeah, cassette era rock, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but that's kind of cool. Yeah, because classic rock isn't classic rock anymore. The stuff
No.
that we grew up with is now classic rock.
Yeah.
Like what? So
Right.
anyway,
How about who is the most famous musician you've ever talked to?
Oh, Clyde.
I got a ton. I can name a dozen. I've had
Engelbert Humperdinck.
yes, Engelbert Humperdinck was one. That's because my mom. I a bunch because I did a lot of entertainment work in the casino business. I handled front of the house, back of the house entertainment for a lot of major world class acts. So I had some great opportunities to have some serious conversations. I remember having many conversations with Willie Nelson and again, I don't want to bore you. I have tons of stories that how I met them, and it was just a weird ass. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. A weird situation. I guess one of the coolest stories I could share would be when I first met George Jones. Believe it or not, and I was not a fan of George Jones or Merle Haggard or any of that in those days, but my father was. And as a kid, constantly, Merle Haggard or George Jones and this, that, and the other. So anyway, my father passes away. So I years senior in high school, and he was playing our casino, and kind of briefly met him, this, that, the other. I go, you know what? I want to see what this is all about. Why is this guy a legend? And so I go walking in there. I sit up in the crow's nest and watch the show going down. And the funniest thing, I just told the story a couple of weeks ago. So the show starts, and back in those days, he had female singers called the Possumettes, and he had this big production in those days. And they come out and they're doing their typical old school country stuff, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" I said, "Whoa," and then the band stops. He goes, "Son, I told you I couldn't hear anything out of this monitor. Now, can you fix this? Can you fix this so I can entertain these people?" And it's his son. His son's running sound. What is? And so he fixes it, and then they start from the very beginning and do the show. And so later, this is where my friendship with him begins, because I become close with the guy. I go, why did you do that? And he goes, everybody that bought a ticket deserves that. I invite him to me. That showroom is my living room, and it's like I'm playing to them one-on-one. And if I screw it up and it doesn't sound right, I've gypped them, and I don't want to ever do that. And it's one of those things in memory that I always remembered that, as in always try your best, because these people are going to see you. And as micro as it is with Right Turn Clyde, we try really hard to do a good show. And yeah, you're going to have a bad show. That's all there's to it. But we always try really hard to deliver a good show. But that's one of those stories that really stuck with me because eventually, years later, I was in New Mexico drinking Diet Coke while he was in his underwear in the bus with his wife there, and he's sitting there talking about sports. He was getting ready for a show, but I had that kind of relationship, and I had some great relationships with like Merle Haggard and you're right, Engelbert Humperdinck, as silly as he was, that they recognize. Air Supply was another one. There's a whole story with that one, but I have dozens of them. I really should write it down one day because it's so cool that these people put their pants on just like you do. Who was it told me? I can't remember which act said, I just happen to be the luckier guy. There are so many other guys more talented than me. I just happen to be lucky, and boom, and they became a star. So I've just got some really cool stories, and they're just neat people. Some of them have attitudes, absolutely. I have a great story with the Moody Blues, but I don't want to bore you. You can take up the rest of your show. It's probably one of the coolest stories I've ever had with Moody Blues, but it's wild. They are an interesting group of guys. But anyway, that's my story for you there.
Anyone else want to tackle that one?
I met Josh Sager, a guitar player for Right Turn Clyde.
Wow.
That guy was amazing.
Okay.
No, he says hi. He says hi, by the way. I've been texting him, so.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. He is.
No, I met Yo-Yo Ma. I actually held the elevator for him and rode up in an elevator with him, and we may have said 4 or 5 words to each other. But well, thank you. You're welcome. Have a good day. You as well. That's about it. But other than that, I haven't really met anyone, any real famous musicians. I mean, I know some musicians. I have friends who are in the business and doing rather well in it, in the classical music field, but no one that's famous, But so that's about it.
Yeah, the closest I have is I showed a bass to the bass player of Spinal Tap. So I was out in California. I was wholesale for musical instruments right out of college. And we go to the NAMM show in LA. We had the big convention for, all the musical instruments. And Harry Shearer, the actor, Simpsons and everything, he was going around and looked at basses and said, oh, it's Harry Shearer. And he's with his publicist. So I refrained from saying, this bass goes up to 11. No, I did make him chuckle on something. That's it. So it was kind of cool.
Okay, Tina, you have anybody on your list?
No, not famous musicians. No, unfortunately.
Well, the guys are Right Turn Clyde, so that's fine.
Well, yes, those guys. Yeah.
All right, so I have one more quick question, and I'll tell you a story off the air. Where can the listeners find you guys? Where can they follow you and find out when you're having shows?
The easiest way would go to rightturnClyde.com. And it really, we put out, yeah, exactly. We put out, exactly. It's right there. I see it. And it really has a ton of info. We try to make it as interactive as we can. I have some ideas for next year to have some more fun with it, but it spans, we put out a month at a time of what we're doing. And then we try to be interactive with the crowd, let people know what's going. From time to time, I'll do a Facebook Live blast to just let people know that we're not just this site and we're just not this two-dimensional picture, one-dimensional picture sitting there that people can see. So I have some personal goals to kind of add more interactivity to what's going on. as far as music goes, we really don't have any original stuff. We had played with it when we were challenged to do. Was it last year or the year prior? I can't, Fashion Week.
Oh, last year.
Was it last year
Uh,
or the year,
wait a minute.
or was it the year
Good
prior? I can't
question.
remember.
Good
They
question.
came to us and wanted us to be a part. They did. It was the first time that the Pittsburgh
Fashion
Fashion Week
Week.
folks did a virtual
Hmm.
show, and so they asked the acts that were participating. They'd have a full day of, fashion talk, this, that, the other, and then would have an act. And so the challenge is that we had to do some original content. Um, and then we could do a cover or two out of I think it was 5 songs, if I remember correctly. And to be quite honest, I originally said, no, I'm sorry, guys, I'll have to pass on it. And I mentioned it to Jesse and Josh, and it was kind of like, why? You know, I go, what do you mean? Is, well, we have some stuff that we could share. So I called them back and said, hey, do you still have that spot open? And they said, yeah, we're about to give it away. But since we like you, you can have it. And so Josh and Jesse had some amazing original material that went up. And so we started to integrate that into the show for a bit. I would love for us to, get to the point where we could do some original stuff. I always have, and I joke about it, I have music always bouncing around in my head for the show. What can we do better? What can we do? A new song list, this, that, the other, and try to craft, because you constantly have to kind of adjust your show throughout the year because you don't want to burn out some of the rooms that you play all the time. Prime example, we play the Helltown tap rooms, all of them, and we'll rotate. Well, after maybe your third appearance, what I don't want to do, people go, oh, we've seen it already. It's like, I don't want to take away from what we've got. But I would love, I think I had shared it with the guys that I would love one day that we could create an EP of original Right Turn Clyde work. I think there's a giant talent pool here within this group here, this version of Right Turn Clyde, that could do something cool like that. I know it takes a lot of work. I've seen it done. Jesse's, got some pieces out there. Did you release your EP, or is it still working?
I still got it. Get it worked on. There's still some things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see there's a lot of work involved. So, and Tom, you've got something, right?
Well, I've other original music with other groups I got out there. So,
Right.
But yeah.
So it's a monumental effort. I joke around. I say I only want to do Right Turn Clyde for like 3 more years. Our 10th year will be our farewell tour, like the Eagles. So we'll be around another 20 after that. So, or like Cher, So, but I think that might be an ultimate goal, is to come out with a Right Turn Clyde EP. But it's just what the time commitments are, and talent, and what we can do and how we can pull it off. So.
Cool. So this has been episode number 597 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Up next, you are going to hear some more of the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer. When you hear John American Hill Jack Lane, you will know the show has ended. That doesn't mean log off of the radio station that you're listening to, because they're out there supporting the unsigned and independent artists. So show them a little bit of support by hanging out there and listening to some new music. My name is Bill, and we will catch you next Friday.
Bye.